Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating. We're looking at the psychological realities of modern dating, but we're running it all through the timeless, grounding principles of Stoic philosophy. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything, quote unquote, right out there in the dating world, but you're still ending up totally frustrated, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to see exactly how ancient wisdom can completely redefine our modern relationships. Okay, let's dive into this. Why do good men get rejected? It's a completely valid frustration, right? I mean, you work incredibly hard. You treat her with respect, you stay loyal, you prioritize her, you put her first, and yet, somehow, she just kind of loses interest. You sit there watching as she chases after guys who challenge her, or who seem completely unbothered by how long it takes her to text back, while you're left wondering what on earth you did wrong. It feels entirely backwards, doesn't it? So, let's look at section 1, the good man paradox. The brutal truth we have to confront here is that being a good man on paper just won't build attraction if that goodness is paired with habits that make you easy to ignore, easy to replace, and, frankly, impossible to respect. Look at the stark contrast between the nice approach and the grounded approach. The nice approach, that's the habit of answering literally every message instantly, completely rearranging your own schedule to fit hers, and avoiding disagreements at all costs just to keep the peace. The grounded approach, on the other hand, is about having your own direction, upholding your own standards, and actually maintaining a life outside of her approval. Think about it. It's a Friday night, you cancel your pre-planned workout or ditch your friends just to text her back or hang out, and she responds with just vague interest. When you drop everything to fit her schedule, you might think you're showing commitment, but what you're quietly communicating is that your own purpose comes second. You've stopped leading your own life and started following hers. And when that excitement starts to fade, your first instinct is probably to just try even harder. You buy more gifts, you send longer texts, you try to be even more available. But extra effort without self-respect rarely changes the outcome. Attraction simply isn't built by proving you can endlessly sacrifice yourself. In reality, a woman actually wants the challenge of a man who is difficult to distract from his own mission. When your life is full of purpose, you stop measuring your worth by her attention. And that authentic confidence, that is the real challenge she's looking for. Let's transition right into our second section, the illusion of nice. We hear it all the time, right? Women get bored with nice guys. But this only happens because of a fundamental misunderstanding of what niceness actually is. There is a massive difference between being genuinely kind and simply being terrified to disappoint people. Genuine kindness comes from strength. People-pleasing comes from fear. And this brilliantly illustrates a core philosophical truth. Let that sink in for a second. If you're constantly avoiding conflict just to keep someone comfortable, you are slowly disappearing inside your own life. You're carrying this exhausting weight of keeping everyone else happy while totally ignoring your own needs. That's not kindness. Actually, scratch that. It's a fear of losing someone disguised as being a good guy. To counter this, a truly grounded man deliberately allocates his mental energy. Look at this perfect equilibrium. 25% dedicated to purpose and career, 25% to health and fitness, 25% to friendships, and 25% to the relationship. This exact split is absolutely crucial because it builds internal resilience. When you have a rich life outside of dating, like when you've just crushed a heavy workout, made serious progress on a business goal, and spent some quality time with a good buddy, your mindset completely shifts. You stop acting out of this frantic fear of losing a relationship because your life is already rich, it's already stable. You start acting out of true, grounded confidence. And this balance naturally changes how you communicate. Constant agreement, where you're just silencing your opinions and hiding your disappointment, teaches others that your perspective simply doesn't matter. Over time, it causes a total loss of respect. Healthy respect, on the other hand, requires you to speak clearly, maintain absolute honesty, and protect your standards. Healthy relationships literally require honesty, even when it creates a super uncomfortable conversation. If she suggests a restaurant you don't like or crosses a boundary, a grounded man just says so. You have to stop apologizing for having boundaries. That brings us to section 3, strength under pressure. This is vital because eventually, every relationship will test a man's patience, his judgment, and his emotional control. It's inevitable. She tests your strength, not to start a fight, but to see your emotional stability. Maybe she suddenly changes plans at the last minute just to see if you panic, or she pushes back on a decision with a sudden mood shift. The fatal mistake most men make is believing every emotional moment requires an emotional response. If you react to every single mood shift or get visibly defensive, you're literally handing over your emotional stability. You shift from leading your life to anxiously managing the relationship. So, how do we actually apply Stoicism when that tension spikes? Well, there's a 3-step Stoic response to conflict. Step 1, pause before speaking. Step 2, listen without losing your composure. Step 3, refuse to make decisions from frustration. A grounded man knows that not every single comment deserves a reaction. If things get heated, he doesn't need to win the argument right then and there, and he sure doesn't need to raise his voice. Remaining completely calm when emotions are rising all around you naturally commands immense respect. But you can't just fake that composure in the heat of the moment, right? It has to be built behind the scenes. Emotional steadiness under pressure is a direct byproduct of your daily foundation. It means waking up with purpose, keeping promises to yourself, training your body, and stopping your dependence on her attention. The stronger this daily discipline becomes, the less a sudden disagreement or a canceled date will shake you. Your peace is completely protected by your daily discipline.
Let's move right into our 4th theme, the power of purpose.
This focuses on one of the most critical mistakes a man can make, letting his own life just kind of fade into the background for the sake of one relationship. It's the trap of dependence versus the freedom of options. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the dynamic plays out. If your schedule revolves entirely around her availability, if your mood wildly fluctuates based on whether or not she texts you back, and if your personal goals are starting to collect dust, well, that's dependence. Building your whole world around her creates an exhausting, suffocating pressure for both of you. But when you have real options in life, your schedule moves forward regardless of her plans, your mood is tied to your own daily habits, and your goals remain heavily prioritized.
So the absolute crucial point is this. A healthy relationship should add to your life, not replace it. Think of your life as a moving train. She wants to hop on board a train that already has a powerful engine and a clear destination. She does not want to be your entire world, and she certainly doesn't want to be the engine. She's looking for an invitation to share a life that already has strong direction rather than feeling like she has to rescue you from uncertainty or loneliness.
Let's be very, very clear about what having options actually means here. It's not about playing manipulative games or trying to make her jealous. No way. Having true options is entirely about your character. It means you have the self-respect to walk away from disrespect. It means your happiness is independent of her approval. It means you continue investing heavily in your career and fiercely protecting your physical and mental health. You have options because you absolutely refuse to compromise your core values for temporary comfort. And that leads us directly into our final section, true confidence and status.
We often hear that women chase status and confidence, but modern culture gets the definitions of these words completely wrong. Let's redefine status right now. True status is internal character, emotional maturity, and daily discipline. It is absolutely not about luxury cars, expensive clothes, or surface-level success. Think about it. When your peace depends on someone else validating your expensive watch or your car, you're handing over complete control of your emotional state. True confidence changes how you walk into a room before you even speak a word, precisely because it's built on unshakable integrity, not outside approval. Let's move to these steps and see how this builds into an actionable reality. 1. Build your skills until your work speaks for itself. 2. Keep your promises, especially when nobody is watching. 3. Stop comparing yourself to other men. Your only mission is to be stronger, smarter, and more grounded than you were yesterday. And 4, recover faster from setbacks. When you commit to this level of self-mastery, your self-respect naturally rises. You stop trying to impress people, and you completely stop apologizing for having high standards. This brings us to the ultimate culmination of everything we've explored today. The greatest victory is becoming a man who respects himself so deeply that he never abandons his values. True confidence becomes a permanent part of your character. It's earned through consistent action, not borrowed from cheap praise. And that means no one can ever give it to you, and more importantly, no one can ever take it away. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you waiting for someone else's approval, or are you actively creating a life that stands entirely on its own? The wisdom we've unpacked today won't change your life unless you actually take action on it. Make the decision today to step into your purpose, build your discipline, and become the grounded, self-respecting man you are capable of being. Thank you for joining me in this explainer.